signs to tell us that
Check.
So before we get started, I'm gonna give the statement. You know, I may be able to answer if you have a few questions, but it's gonna be pretty brief this time. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Justin Arnold, Justin Arnold. I'm the police chief for the Ozark Police Department. All right, today at approximately 2:07 p.m., Ozark police officers were dispatched to the 1000 block of West South Street in reference to a deceased female. Upon arriving on scene, officers encountered a male subject, and currently we're in the process of investigating the suspicious death.
Do we have any information about her age, identity, anything to that effect, manner of
At this time, we don't have any of that information that's ready to be released. However, the death is suspicious to us. Right now we're preparing search warrants for the residents so we can go in and see if there's any evidence that can assist us in this investigation.
What do you mean by suspicious?
Excuse me?
What led you guys to think it was suspicious?
Just the circumstances through which we were called here, and the visual observations of the officers upon arriving on scene led them to believe that there were some suspicious circumstances surrounding this call.
Was the body found in the house or around the house, or outside, inside of the home?
So right now, the scene that we're working, there is a deceased individual inside the residence.
Why is the backyard all roped off then?
So that's just our crime scene. As soon as we can, as soon as we have the court authority to go into the residence, we'll collapse that down, but we're wanting to make sure that we cover all of our bases and make sure that there's no evidence or anything like that could be outside of the residence.
The person that you take into custody for questioning, what was their demeanor when you guys arrived? Did he call, or I'm sorry, I don't know if it's a he or she, did that person call authorities, and what was their demeanor when they arrived?
So at this time, I can't really comment about that. The 911 call that we received.
It'll probably be right around the time school is let out. Were there any extra precautions you guys had to take with elementary school being just down the street?
No, it was a little bit before school let out. We work very closely with our school resource officers. We have a great school district here, and we have a great partnership with them. So they were well aware of what was going on here, and any of the decisions or changes that they decided to make, that was up to them, but we work very closely with them.
How long do you guys think you'll be out here tonight?
I really don't know. A lot of that's dependent on how long it takes us to secure a search warrant for the scene, and then we're not really sure what we're going to encounter once we get into the scene.
What was the relationship with the victim and the suspect?
It's unknown at this time.
As far as suspicious deaths in Ozark, not very common. We get a lot of them. Well, we get some in Springfield, but out
Right.
here, unusual. What can you say in terms of this type of crime in the city of Ozark?
It is unusual for us to get suspicious deaths, and that's why we're checking every box, using all our precautions to make sure that we handle this accordingly and appropriately.
I know you guys are waiting on a search warrant to come through.
Yes.
At that time, how close do you guys think you'll be to filing charges?
Again, that'll be dependent on what the evidence leads us to find before we could do anything like that or make any assumption of when that would happen. But right now, we do have a person of interest in custody.
Will you get some outside help, or is it all self-contained to Ozark? In other words, you guys have CSI or crime scene investigators, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so we have crime scene investigators, and our detectives will handle this scene.
And I'm sorry if you already answered this question. What was the age of the victim?
At this time, I don't know, and I can't release that. We're still waiting to make a positive identification.
Earlier this afternoon, you were talking about trying to make proper notification.
Right.
Is that complicated by the nature of the high traffic area that this scene is on at all?
Typically, what complicates that is when you're dealing with different jurisdictions, trying to figure out, who the next of kin is, exactly where they live, and the most appropriate way to contact them. So.
And you guys are still working on contacting next of kin?
Yes, we're actively trying to work on that right now. We're actively working on that right now.
Any reason to believe? Well, you've got somebody. Could there be somebody else tied to this, or do you feel?
At this time, there's no danger to the surrounding area or the general public. We do feel that this is an isolated incident, and hopefully the evidence that we locate inside the residence will give us a clearer picture of what actually occurred.
Will you guys be releasing any more information throughout the evening? Or?
Yes, as information comes available that is appropriate to be released, we will release that as soon as possible.
What do you want the community to know about this? Because we've got a lot of Facebook messages. I mean, tons of people. This stuff just kind of goes out of control on social media.
The main thing I would like them to know is when they're driving by this area, as we've already talked about, this is a high traffic area. Please pay attention to motoring safety as they're driving by. We will do everything we can to not be invasive for the traffic flow or anything like that, but just allow us to do our work here, and we will get this wrapped up as soon as possible.
Thanks, Chief.
All right. Hopefully you guys were able to hear that. I understand we were having some audio issues a little bit ago. Hopefully you guys can hear me. My name is Colin Lingo. If you didn't hear me at the beginning, this is the Ozarks First Right Now breaking news desk. We are streaming live right now. It's about 5:27 on March 11th. That was the Ozarks Police Department. They're down there right now investigating a suspicious death that we were alerted to earlier this afternoon. Let me take this back. Get them off camera there. There we go. So essentially, we were tipped off. We found out that the police had responded to a suspicious death at 2:07 p.m. That's in the 100 block of West South Street. They found a body. They are considering the death of the person that they found to be suspicious. They do not have an identity for that person, though they are releasing right now that they are a female. No age has been released yet from authorities. They do have a person in custody. They are questioning that person, but like the body, they're not releasing the identity of the suspect either. Let me break down what we just heard there from Ozark PD. They told us during that press conference what we didn't know before is that there was a body found inside the house. We now know that the body was found inside the house. The person who called police called for a well-being check of the person inside the house. That call again came in at around 2:07 this afternoon. The police were asked if they knew how long this investigation would take. They said they do not know that yet. They don't know how long they'll be there at that residence. They say they don't know the suspect and victim relationship at this time, or at least they're not releasing that, though they do believe this is an isolated incident. This is not something that could continue, meaning I assume that they don't believe there's a danger to the public here. They did say they'd be passing along more information, possibly tonight. As soon as that information gets to them, they say they'll release it. And, of course, that comes to us, and we'll release it to you just as soon as we get it, through means like this, where we're getting this information to you as fast as possible through this breaking news desk. One thing the police did want to point out is that this happened near a relatively heavily trafficked area in Ozark. So if you are a commuter in Ozark, or you're passing through Ozark and you pass this by, the police are urging you to be a courteous commuter. Keep on moving. That information, what's going on, no need to rubberneck. That information will be made available later in the evening or as soon as it becomes available. So, again, suspicious death in Ozark still being investigated by police. We're getting information, and as soon as we're getting it, we're passing it along to you guys. We appreciate you guys watching. We're going to go ahead and end this stream now pretty soon. So, again, I'm Colin Lingo. This has been Ozarks First Right Now. Thank you.